an American political commentator is trying to help a Saskatchewan woman. The Sask NDP wants the province to reimburse the city of Regina for the Costco negotiations. And another youth is charged in the Carry the Kettle killings in February.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. A well-known American conservative commentator is stepping in to help a Saskatchewan woman who's been waiting years for a procedure. As Wayne Matika tells us, it comes after she was approved for medical assistance in dying.
Jolene Van Alstine is currently at the Regina General Hospital with a rare form of parathyroid disease. She has been in pain for years and has been unable to obtain necessary surgery. She was recently approved for medical assistance in dying to end her suffering. Now U.S. political commentator Glenn Beck has been in contact and is trying to arrange medical care in the United States.
Very unexpected, but possibly very promising, too. So that's good news for Jolene and I.
Beck has posted updates to X on Van Alstine's plight. It has reached over 1 million readers. He offered a scathing assessment of Canadian Medicare, saying, "This is the reality of compassionate, progressive health care. Canada must end this insanity, and Americans can never let it spread here." Beck says he has also approached President Trump's State Department to expedite her entry into the U.S. The family is hopeful.
The lady that I've been talking to has been very optimistic and said that it's a very good news situation, or a conversation that we'll have a little bit later. So hopefully it will.
The family recently met with Saskatchewan's health minister and says it was offered an out-of-province referral. That option is also being explored. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
The Saskatchewan NDP is calling on the provincial government to pay back nearly $7 million to the city of Regina. They say the government triggered an unnecessary bidding war with the city over the new Costco store that is set to be built in the Wistara neighborhood. The NDP says the project was jeopardized when the provincial government tried to redirect the development to the global transportation hub, and the city was forced to offer $6.8 million in tax concessions to keep the retailer in the city.
This is a ripoff of the property taxpayers of Regina, plain and simple. Today, the Saskatchewan NDP has launched a website, gthowes.us.ca, with a public petition demanding the Sask Party government pay back the city of Regina, the people of Regina.
Regina Mayor Chad Bashinsky told CTV News that the city would love to be recompensated the $6.8 million in tax concessions, but that they will continue, no matter what, to work with the GTH. NDP MLA Alina Young told media members on Wednesday that she intends to bring a motion for a special emergency audit of SaskPower. According to Young, this comes as a result of being flooded with concerns from people across Saskatchewan about the $813 million of secret spending at SaskPower. Now, she says the people of the province deserve answers about where this money is going amid rising prices of power bills.
People in Saskatchewan are already facing the highest financial stress anywhere in Canada, unseen in a generation, and a conservative 10% power hike due to this gross mismanagement by the Sask Party is only going to make things worse.
In a statement, the provincial government says the $813 million variance is a result of lower than budgeted earnings, increased capital infrastructure expenses, adjustments to grant funding assumptions, and changes to account payable and accrued liability balances. A recent auditor's report found there are close to 700 cases of underutilized childcare spaces in Saskatchewan. Despite the government of Saskatchewan extending its funding agreement with the federal government, centers say they continue to fall short on staffing. Sierra D'Souza Butts explains.
Despite enrolling dozens of new families in the past few months, the First Years Learning Center says it still has hundreds of kids waiting for a spot.
Our wait list is at 1,913 children. Prior to September, it was over 2,000.
It's one of many issues childcare centers are facing across Saskatchewan, in addition to the shortage of early childhood educators.
But we can create as many spaces as we want, but without the creation of more early childhood educators, it's not going to matter. And part of that comes down to wages. We still don't have like a pay grid from the government.
Although the province has increased increased its number of childcare spaces to more than 41,000, a recent independent provincial auditor report found there are 694 approved childcare spaces that are being underutilized, which suggests spaces may be improved in locations that do not need them, or there aren't enough qualified educators available.
The report confirms what, frankly, families and workers have known for a long time, which is Saskatchewan is falling behind on its commitments to create childcare spaces, to make sure they're adequately used and staffed, and that the current approach by the provincial government is not working.
In a statement to CTV News, the ministry says it's at 91% of its target of creating an additional 28,000 childcare spaces as part of the early learning and childcare agreement with the federal government, adding it accepts the recommendations to develop a sustainable funding model for the provision of childcare and will analyze key data and will track and report on all key information to the federal government as outlined in the agreement. In the meantime, centers like this one continue to advocate for careers in early childhood education in order to keep providing quality childcare for families. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
A third person has been charged in connection to the quadruple homicide on the Kettle First Nation earlier this year. RCMP say a 17-year-old male has been arrested and charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder in relation to the deaths of Tracy Honomani, Sheldon Cuisance, Shauna Faye, and Terry Jack. They were all found dead in a home at the Kettle on February the 4th. The youth, who can't be identified due to his age, is also charged with the attempted murder of a 5th person who was at the residence at the time. 18-year-old Darius Reset and a 15-year-old male have also been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder in connection to the case. The second youth is scheduled to appear in provincial court tomorrow. A teen girl accused of lighting a fellow high school student on fire last year appeared by video in Saskatoon Provincial Court today. The girl charged with attempted murder, arson, and aggravated assault after a 15-year-old girl was doused in a flammable liquid and set on fire at Evan Hardy Collegiate last September. The accused was 14 at the time. Her lawyer requested an adjournment until after Crown and Defense counsels have resolution discussions on Monday. She's now scheduled to be back in provincial court on January 29th for a plea. 2 fired Saskatoon police officers are asking a judge to let them appeal their terminations after their lawyer sent the paperwork to the wrong place. Dylan Kemp and Jason Garland were fired in September following an off-duty party, and 8 days later they filed appeals. But their lawyer sent them to the wrong place instead of the Saskatchewan Police Commission, the body that hears these appeals. As a result, Kemp and Garland missed the 30-day deadline to challenge their firings. Now the 2 former officers are asking a judge to let the appeals move forward. The matter is set for court on January the 23rd. Nearly 500,000 people crossed Canadian borders in Saskatchewan this year, with officers making hundreds of seizures. The Canada Border Services Agency has released its 2025 year in review, dealing with activity across all 20 sites in the province. From January 1st to Halloween, officers made nearly 200 narcotic seizures, including about 30 grams of opioids and 2.5 kilograms of illegal cannabis. The CBSA also seized 25 firearms and other illegal items, along with more than 1,000 guns or magazine parts, and about $72,000 in suspected proceeds of crime was also seized.
Proud of our border service officers here. They conduct a lot of hard work screening travelers and goods coming into the country. I think this shows a good record of the good job that we're doing.
Keelan adds Border Services plays a critical role in supporting the economy and security of Canada. Let's hop over to the Weather Center where Sabine joins us. And yeah, interesting 36 hours across southern Saskatchewan. But how are things looking into Thursday?
Well, we'll start off around seasonal, Lee. So we have a bit of a seasonal start to the day tomorrow. Then the snow arrives, and as the snow clears, then we will see some very frigid temperatures arrive. So we're getting a little bit of everything over the last couple of days. Now, the good news is all the warnings have lifted for Saskatchewan, in particular, all the ones we saw in southern Saskatchewan yesterday. Now, to the west of us, we are already seeing some blowing snow and snowfall warnings in Alberta along the Cypress Hills area. We will most likely start to see some of those coming into the southwest there, with Maple Creek possibly getting some snowfall warnings, especially with the system that's making its way through now into tomorrow. Temperatures, like I said, right now, we're in the seasonal range, well above seasonal still in the southwest. Wind chill still making an effect with the wind chill in Regina at -22. The average is about -6, -9. We only warmed up to -13, and that's just the beginning as we head into tomorrow. More details in your forecast. Lee?
All right, thanks, Sabine. You mentioned frigid temperatures coming, kind of the first deep freeze that we're going to get. Because of that, organizations that help those experiencing homelessness are going to be hard at work later this week. In Saskatoon, the city has already enacted its cold weather strategy. Carla Shinkaruk has more.
We'll put that in the female winter jacket pile.
Before the temperatures tumble even more and the wind chill set in, a network of volunteers and frontline workers are getting ready, like those at Bridge City Warmth.
We basically load up 2 or 3 vehicles. We drive down 20th and we identify those that are in need.
That's just one of the services their group provides. All are focused on helping those who are homeless. Meanwhile, for the first time this year, the city is putting its multi-day cold weather response into action.
So we've activated the winter emergency response plan to a level 2 from today, the 9th, until the 15th.
And the need is growing, with the number of people who are unhoused increasing.
Having some conversations with some of the staffs there, they're seeing the numbers increase from last year. Gord Taylor at St. Mary's has shared that they've seen numbers that were occurring now that were at their highest points last year.
Those locations being open for the response plan. For daytime warm-up, new this winter, the former STC Bus Depot building at 23rd Street East. That's for women 18 and over. Also, there's EGADS for 12 to 19, Prairie Home Reduction, Friendship in Station 20 West, the Bridge on 20th, and the Canadian Mental Health Association. For the evenings, added is St. Mary's Church, run by the Salvation Army for men 18 years and over. And again, EGADS and the STC Bus Depot locations stay open. Then for the overnight, there's the Bus Depot, St. Mary's remaining open, as well as the addition of the White Buffalo Youth Lodge for 25 and younger.
It is so much more dangerous out there for people. So we are so grateful for partners like the provincial government, the Saskatoon Tribal Council, St. Mary's Church, the Salvation Army that are running these warming locations.
For community members like Zimmer, the work doesn't end with a warm room. Relying on each other, she says, is what gets people through the coldest nights.
Everybody out there has a story. They're all people. We're all people. And we just need to be kind and compassionate.
Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, this past summer, the Regina Public School Division cut several positions involved in the elementary school band program. It's a trend music teachers say is happening all across Saskatchewan. As Hallie Mandrick tells us, they feel students aren't receiving the music education they deserve.
For many students in Saskatchewan, elementary band programs can spark a lifelong interest in music. But some who teach it, like Brent Gilioni in Regina, say programs that focused on smaller classes have been forced to do more with less.
They'll have full band of 100+ kids, and there's one teacher in the room. I mean, if anything goes wrong, it's a recipe for failure.
Gilioni blaming it on funding cuts. Other teachers say they've witnessed a slow but steady decrease to music programs over the last several years. That includes Stacey Mortensen-Spokes, who's been teaching for 30 years.
Well, there was a time where it was very common for elementary students to have band 3 times a week, and now it would be pretty rare for elementary students to have band 3 times a week.
The Ministry of Education cited a $2.4 billion operating budget for the 2025-26 school year, saying, quote, funding is distributed through a model that supports instructional activities in schools, and while it does not allocate funding for specific classes or programs such as band, it does enable flexibility to allocate resources based on local needs and priorities. Teachers like Brent Gilioni feel the priority should be to ensure music programs remain strong in Saskatchewan.
The cruncher is, if we don't have music and arts programs in our city, we're in trouble. I mean, any community without beauty is a pretty ugly community.
Something Gilioni and other teachers hope music education won't come to. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, Community Spirit brought an early Christmas present to the small town of Ituna. The community's theater was facing closure, so residents came together in November to start a co-op with hopes of purchasing the property. The auction for the theater closed on November 19th, but the reserve was not met. So the leader of the Ituna Theater enthusiasts took their offer directly to the seller, and last week the community owns the Ituna Theater as a result. They need to make a few renovations, including a new furnace and plumbing fixes, but the dream of turning an almost 80-year-old theater into a lively community hub is alive and well.
We'd love to have everything from birthday parties to concerts to comedy to drama, and we want involvement from the Indigenous communities. Hopefully around here we can use that as a, as bridge building. So certainly there'll still be movies.
Possession date is December the 22nd. The new local owners hope the change of management won't impact upcoming movie screenings. Well, Christmas lights on your house are a popular and traditional way to celebrate the holidays, but a few people in Saskatchewan are providing some Christmas cheer on their own vehicles. Damien Smith explains.
Nowadays, not that many people get in the Christmas spirit, and it's nice to see.
An additional set of Christmas lights are on display in front of the Saskatchewan Legislative Building, but these ones are on a truck. For Tanner Boulanger, 3 hours of taping Christmas lights to his vehicle was worth the work.
Some people want to take pictures with it. Some people come up to nowhere, knock, and they're like, oh my gosh, I love this. It's quite different. I love to see when people love it, though.
It's a similar site 2 hours south of Regina, where Brooks Melfort is lighting up the night in Estevan.
Generally pretty good. Lots of people love it. I mean, there's a few people that don't like it so much, but yeah, I think for the most part, most people like it.
For Melfort, it took a roll and a half of tape with over 1,000 feet of mini lights strung around the vehicle, more than 3,000 individual lights beaming brighter than Rudolph's nose. But decking out a vehicle can come with its challenges.
Take your time. Make sure you got everything kind of aligned right so you can, open all your doors and everything so you don't lock yourself out.
Make sure that you put the lights where you want to. Right now, my passenger door does not open because the lights cover it.
As colorful as they may be, the lights must be turned off when driving, according to SGI. Extra lights or equipment which make required lights harder to see are prohibited while driving on public roads due to safety and visibility concerns. Drivers can also receive fines and may be forced to remove them. Both Melfort and Boulanger say that they comply with the law. For them, it's all about making spirits bright.
I think to put a smile on someone else's face, it puts a smile on mine, so it makes you feel good to be able to make someone else's day better.
Damien Smith, CTV News, Regina.
After the break, the Bank of Canada stands pat on its key interest rate. Plus, a tentative deal has been reached in the Air Transit pilots' labor dispute.
Studio decorating provided by Urban Farm Girl Boutique and Home Decor.
There are only a few weeks left in 2025, and already Canadians worried about how they will be able to afford food, shelter, and debt next year. The financial fears come as the Bank of Canada announces it's holding rates steady, saying inflation has come down enough. Annie Bergeron Oliver has the latest.
The malls may be busy, but this year many Canadians are focused less on presents and more on presents.
Me and all my friends make gifts for each other, and I feel like that makes it so much more lasting, and it's not like a cost worry thing in the holidays.
This holiday season, economic anxiety is high. According to a new Nanos report, 42% of people rank grocery prices as their top financial concern. 17% say their biggest concern is personal debt. 16% housing costs, 8% job security, and just 8% say they have no financial concerns.
You roll all that stuff up, and it's interesting, just paying for the groceries being the top concern that people think that they're going to have when it comes to 2026. So it's pretty basic.
The financial stress being tied to uncertainty around tariffs and the high cost of living.
If it was me, we'd be vegetarian, but I have good Canadian hockey players. They like their meat, milk, and cereal.
And for those wishing for prices to come down, the Bank of Canada says that would actually be bad news.
If we were to try to push the whole price level down, that would cause a severe recession in Canada. Nobody wants that.
So what can Canadians do to help their financial future? Experts say try tracking where money is coming in and going out.
some lifestyles aren't sustainable anymore. The things have just gotten really expensive. So what you want to do with those big purchases, I think, is either avoid them or delay them or partition them, and maybe that's the best way to go.
Overall, inflation is expected to remain steady next year, with the Bank of Canada expecting it to hover around 2%. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
A tentative deal has been reached between Air Transat and its pilots, avoiding a strike that would have impacted thousands of passengers heading to the busy holiday travel season.
We offered generous conditions, but in return, we required increase in performance and efficiency. So this is something that we were looking for. So we had common objectives on that, and we found the right balance that will allow us to remain competitive, have competitive salaries, while preserving the DNA of offering affordable products to our customers.
Air Transat president and CEO calls the deal a win-win agreement that is finally hammered out. 18 flights had been canceled in advance of a Wednesday morning strike deadline by Air Transat's 750 pilots. The deal prevents a fresh round of flight cancellations. A Nova Scotia First Nation says it has banned the province's premier and two of his senior ministers from their land. The Sipi-Kinakati First Nation says Premier Tim Houston, Attorney General Scott Armstrong, and Leah Martin, the minister responsible for leading negotiations on Aboriginal and treaty rights, are not welcome, branding them as undesirables. The ban comes 1 week after the province announced a crackdown on illegal cannabis sales. First Nation groups immediately responded, arguing the province has no jurisdiction on their land. The Alberta government has used the notwithstanding clause for the fourth time in less than 2 months, this time to pass a bill containing 3 laws about transgender youth. The bill was pushed through in the early morning hours using the notwithstanding clause to shield the laws from legal challenges. The laws will dictate how students use names and pronouns in school, ban transgender girls from participating in amateur sports with girls, and restrict gender-affirming health care for children under the age of 16. Opposition MLAs say this is an overreach. In late October, the UCP government used the notwithstanding clause to order striking teachers back to work and to impose a collective bargaining deal. With Canada's ambassador to Washington, Kristen Hillman, stepping away from her role, the focus is now on her replacement. The decision will be important during the most pivotal trade negotiations that this country has seen in a generation. Michael Couture has more on what Ottawa is saying about the ambassador.
She's been a remarkable ambassador. She handled herself very well in some very difficult circumstances, and wish her all the best.
Kirsten Hillman announced she will be stepping down in the new year, adding the move was first discussed when Prime Minister Mark Carney came into office.
And exceptional public servant, we're all in her debt, and I just want to thank her again for her contribution.
Hillman leaves as trade talks around sectoral tariffs like steel and aluminum remain stalled, and the official review of CUSMA is months away.
I think it's important that we have someone in place that is going to be here through the conclusion of those discussions.
Are you considering Mark Wiseman as a replacement?
Sources tell CTV News Mark Wiseman will likely be named the next Canadian ambassador to the U.S. He's held a number of senior roles at asset management firms and was chair of the Century Initiative,
whose stated mission is to triple the population of Canada to 100 million people, a policy that is designed to profit multinational corporations by driving wages down and housing costs up.
The policy that the member across refers to has never been and will never be the policy of the Government of Canada.
No matter who is chosen, a former policy advisor to Justin Trudeau on Canada-U.S. relations says the role requires someone who can engage with all stakeholders.
That's a major part of the role, not just from the business community, but from civil society, labor leaders, others, to make sure that their interests and concerns are represented in talks with the U.S.
With Hillman's departure in the new year, the Prime Minister says her successor will be named in the coming weeks. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa. An original Picasso painting worth $1.6 million Canadian is being raffled off for charity.
It reminds me of my grandfather's generosity for his family, for his friends, but also for big causes, and especially during the Civil War in Spain or the Second World War.
Pablo Picasso's grandson is helping with the raffle. The portrait of a woman was painted in 1941. Up to 120,000 tickets will be sold online at €100 each. The winner announced in April. The proceeds from the ticket sales are being donated to Alzheimer's research. Coming up, it's day 7 of the 12 Strays of Christmas, and tonight we introduce you to a lovable dog named Dewey.
Couple more days until the fur flies. Thursday on Your Morning, we're talking junior hockey, teeing up the Regina Pats Teddy Bear Toss and how they're giving back to sick kids this Christmas.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at what you can expect for your forecast heading into the evening. It looks like the wind is starting to pick up, and with the snow making its way into parts of the Queen City, we will start to see the visibility be affected. As you can see outside, as we take a look outside through our sky cam, beautiful shot with the lights all lit up. But yeah, we will start to see the visibility maybe get a little worse, especially if you are doing any highway driving. So make sure you're checking the highway hotline. Currently at -12, and that is actually the warmest we've gotten to. We're actually seeing an abnormal temperature trend where the temperature is actually warming up as we're heading into the evening, because we will get back into seasonal range for tomorrow during the day before we see the temperatures drop again. -12, but a wind chill of -23 right now. Winds at 30, but they are currently gusting up to 50. Now, this is what we're seeing with our radar satellite, that system bringing the snow. We're going to see that continue to make its way eastward as we head into this evening, and that's where we're going to see the parkland seeing the snow return. And right behind it, you can see this big mess right here in Alberta. That's what's going to start to bring more snow towards us heading into tomorrow morning. Now, we could also see the mix of rain and snow in the Maple Creek area. We do have some warnings issued just on the other side of the border around the Maple Creek area in Alberta, where they're seeing some blowing snow and snowfall warnings. So something to keep in mind, could mirror into Saskatchewan as we head into tomorrow, as that same system is making its way into Saskatchewan. So snow expected first thing in the morning for the southwest, western parts really all the way up into the Lloydminster area. That system will continue to bring snow through Saskatchewan into late afternoon, where we will see that system once again bringing snow into the parkland before it makes its way into Alberta. So by Thursday evening, the snow clears, the temperatures drop. Wind chill is where we're going to be seeing the most effect, with the wind chill values in the -40s for many parts of southern Saskatchewan. Snow expected to return in the southwest for Friday as well. So what does that mean for snowfall totals? Well, I will show you a real quick glance of what we can expect between now into Saturday. By tomorrow morning, already up to 14 centimeters of snow expected for the Maple Creek area between now into tomorrow morning. So a lot of snow expected tonight. Trace amounts for other parts of the southwest, but up to about 2 centimeters for the southeast, including areas like Regina, Moose Jaw. Not really seeing much until we get into Friday morning, where we'll see more of that snow continuing. And you can see the number climbing for Maple Creek, where we will see probably up to about 15 by Saturday morning. Temperatures is what we want to talk about, though. Aside from that snow, although the southwest, again, Maple Creek could see quite a bit between now and tomorrow morning. Temperatures also dropping as we head into tomorrow. -24 for La Loche tomorrow, -18 for Prince Albert, -18 also for Saskatoon. Much colder than the average highs, which are usually around the -10 mark. -19 for North Battleford, -12 for Yorkton. The southwest still a little warm. Maple Creek -4, but again, that's where we'll see that mix of snow, rain coming through the area tomorrow. -9 for Swift Current and for Moose Jaw, the southeast, within that average range. -7 for Estevan, -6 for Assiniboia. And again, by the time we head into tomorrow, that's where we'll see that change. So tonight, actually warmer than average. Winds still picking up to about 60 kilometers an hour tonight. Tomorrow, gusting up to 50. -9 is the expected daytime high, but snow continuing throughout most of the day until we head into the evening. That's where we see the temperature drop to -25, with a wind chill value of about -39. As Friday approaches, those wind chill values will remain in the mid-30s, even probably nearing -40 for some parts of southern Saskatchewan, until we get into Sunday, -4. So warm above average again. -4 Sunday, -2 on Monday. By Tuesday, we could actually bump up above 0, but 0 is the expected daytime high. And Wednesday, the snow returns and our temperatures return to seasonal, with -7 as the expected high. Another day of our 12 Strays of Christmas, and I believe it's day 7 of our 12 strays. And we're checking back in with Candace. Candace, our good friend from the Regina Humane Society. It's not Huey, it's not Louie, but you do have a friend there with you.
I do. This is Dewey, and I adore this boy. He's only 2 years old, but he has the spirit of a puppy without question. Do you want to stand up so people can see you? Oh, handsome boy. He is a reindeer today, and he's actually been quite tolerant of me dressing him up. So if you're looking for a dog to dress up, he's your guy.
I mean, Candace, we were checking in with you right before we came on air, and he was a very playful pup that you had. What kind of home would be ideal for Dewey?
Yeah, so I think he's a bit of an active boy. So I think he would love a family that's able to, exercise him, whether that's spending time in the backyard, going to the park, taking him for walks. He would love to go on adventures with you. He's very, very excited about literally everything you do. He's just happy to be with you. So he's the ideal companion for, honestly, anybody.
So if people are interested in wanting to check out Dewey, come down to the Regina Humane Society, what do they need to know if they want to know more about Dewey before going for adoption?
For sure. So Dewey is, we've made him what we call mandatory meets with kids, only because he's kind of an odd duck. He thinks the strangest things are scary. For example, the other day he thought my stapler was a full-fledged monster. So he just needs kind of time to warm up to things that he's unsure about. So he just needs somebody that's willing to be patient. And sometimes with kids, it's a little bit tough for them to be patient. So it's important that we make sure that they jive well before he goes home with them, just for good measure. You're so excited.
Okay, well, he's proving that he's a very playful and fun-loving, adorable, adoptable, Candace. For people wanting more information, or if Dewey gets picked up right away, because we know they are being adopted, all of our 12 strays are continuing to be adopted, what do they need to know?
Yeah, so he's available for adoption here at the shelter, and we're open from noon until 6 every day except for Monday, so you can come by any time, and we would love to show this handsome boy off to you. So feel free to come by. And I just wanted to note as well that Dewey did go on one of our slumber parties, so he spent the weekend away from the shelter with his family. He did interact with another dog as well as a cat, and he did really well with both of them. For the cat, he kind of got excited, then the cat just ignored him. It is kind of what it is with a pupper. And then he was really good with the other dog, very excited to meet them. The other dog not quite as much, just because he was an older guy, but I think he would love to have a friend.
So he gets along with others. That's a great skill to have for a pup.
Absolutely, and he's gonna literally keep you laughing like this dork.
All right, well, thanks so much, Candace. I'm sure we're gonna have no problem finding Dewey a forever home, and we look forward to checking back in with you again soon.
Thank you, guys. You're so exciting.
12 Strays of Christmas, brought to you by Flooring Superstore. Quality flooring at great prices.
Still ahead, Riders' newly re-signed offensive tackle Jamarcus Hardrick discusses why he's back in green and white.
Wardrobe consideration in part by Colin O'Brien Men's Shop.
Well, as the Riders announced yesterday, the league's most outstanding offensive lineman this year, Jamarcus Hardrick, is returning for another season.
I would love to repeat as a Grey Cup champion more than an O-lineman. I've been in this league, 12, 13 years. I've seen one guy repeat, and I was on his team. I haven't seen a lot of guys repeat. So it won't make or break me if I don't repeat as MOL. I just want to make sure I'm playing better, getting better, and doing what's best for this team.
Hardrick was a cornerstone on the Riders' O-line, which was one of the best in the league. Impressive coming off 2024 when he thought a season-ending injury might end up ending his career. It's one of a few signings announced since quarterback Trevor Harris said he would return to the green and white. Hardrick says that signing did play a part, albeit it was a small one.
I was probably coming back no matter what he did, but I was messaging, calling Trevor. We was talking all the time and just making sure we're getting the band back together as much as possible. And I'm not crazy. I know Trevor makes me look good, so if Trevor can come back, I want to come back. Like, it was a no-brainer for me.
WHL, the Moose Jaw Warriors have now lost 4 straight after a Blades beatdown last night.
looking for Colt Carter. They were both below the goal line. The Blades up ahead. They got Lewandowski on a break. Comes in, drops it down to Olsen. They score. It turned on a
Blades offense exploded for 5 goals in the second period. Zach Olsen scoring 4 goals. Saskatoon thumped the Warriors 9-3. Blades snapped a 5-game losing streak. Moose Jaw's next game is going to be Friday night in Medicine Hat. Tonight, Swift Current trying to break their own streak. They're going to host Kelowna.
Slides it on the left, Lewandowski.
Still ahead, concerns over the involuntary addictions treatment plan.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at your rural forecast for tomorrow. Again, many parts of Saskatchewan expecting to see that snow. Some areas a little cooler than average, as you can see, especially in parts of rural Saskatchewan. So we do have minus 13 expected in the Hudson Bay Wynyard area. And, I mean, it's still within a few degrees of seasonal. But over in the west there, Lloydminster, minus 20, minus 21 for Meadow Lake Spiritwood. All expecting to see some snowfall tomorrow, minus 17 for Melfort and Kindersley. And then when we get closer to the southern border, depending on where we are in the southwest, a little warmer than average, minus 2 for East End Cypress, Maple Creek minus 4 also for Rock, Glenam for Cornack, and then over in the east they're minus 13 for Kenora and minus 9 for Broadview, Pilot Butte and Lumsden. All expecting a snowy day tomorrow. And if we take a closer look at Ituna, located about 200 kilometers northwest of Swift Current, minus 15 is the expected daytime high tomorrow. Expecting to see close to about 5 centimeters of snow tomorrow. Minus 15 with a wind chill of about minus 23. And then as we head into the evening, expecting those temperatures to dip even more.
Concerns are being expressed about Saskatchewan's plan for involuntary addictions treatment. Organizations that currently help people combat addictions question whether forced treatment will work. Wayne Mantika has more.
Service providers on the front line of the addictions problem have been left with questions about the government's plan for involuntary treatment.
There has not been a lot of clarity around what this actually looks like and what the impact will be. We don't have the resources in place for people that want to go to treatment. We don't have the resources in place for what happens when they get out of treatment.
Last week, the province introduced legislation that would force addicts into secure treatment centers.
To support people with severe addictions who no longer are capable of seeking help on their own despite serious health and safety risks.
The NDP say it doesn't help those voluntarily seeking treatment.
This is a bit of a distraction from a government who knows full well that they have month-long wait lists, that they cannot honor people who are seeking detox today.
If passed, the plan would allow family members, police officers, and healthcare workers to identify those who they believe would benefit from involuntary addictions treatment.
It's been critiqued many times by many medical associations as not being effective, as not being ethical.
There are also legal questions.
If this really does genuinely look like treatment with the release plan and a way, the intent is to get people back to their regular lives, that this very well might be legal. If this ends up looking like putting people in prison without a charge, my suspicion is that this is another court case that the government of Saskatchewan will lose.
The provincial government will consider community feedback as it prepares to pass the legislation in the spring. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
An annual Melfort tradition is back. The Christmas Castle is back up at the historic post office. This year's donations will go to the North Central Healthcare Foundation, restoration of the historic post office, and Believe in Gold Childhood Cancer Foundation. Organizers say more than 100 trees were set up inside the post office to build the castle, and volunteers keep it running. Local musicians are performing every evening until the castle's last day on December the 21st.
December of 2017, and we were just driving through downtown Melfort early evening and just saw that the whole place was quiet, and it was then that the thought came to us that what could we do to draw traffic to.
The castle first opened its doors in 2018. Farm markets for you today. The canola street price is down $5.30 to $55.32 per ton. Futures price is down $5.20 to $626.80 per ton. Amber durum wheat, no movement, $282.27 per ton. Red spring wheat went up very slightly, just a cent, to $248.28 per ton. Feed barley, $213.59 per ton, while flax is $626.04 per ton. How about the markets? The TSX went up 246 points. The Dow Jones rose by 497 points. The Canadian dollar, it went up almost 0.3 cents to 72.49 cents U.S. On the commodity front, gold up $20.61. West Texas Intermediate crude up 71 cents, while Western Canadian Select crude went down 87 cents. And as a result, gas staying the same in Regina at $1.29.9 per liter.
The governor for the Bank of Canada says the rate is where it needs to be to keep inflation in check. Tiff Macklem had hinted the rate would stay the same in October, and with growth in the economy and positive employment data, the bank decided not to move. But the governor did point to Canada working through a structural adjustment, which he is keeping a close eye on. Across the border, the U.S. Federal Reserve did cut the key lending rate by 25 points, taking the rate to 3.5 to 3.75%. The central bank says the outlook for inflation and employment haven't changed much since its last announcement in October. The greater concern has been weakness in the U.S. labor market. Shares in Oracle started to sink after the company reported earnings after the end of the trading day. It missed on some key metrics as it deals with rising debt to fund a push into AI data centers. Investors want to see revenue generated from the spending. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Coming up tonight after the newscast, shifting gears, followed by a couple episodes of George and Mandy's First Marriage, The Amazing Race at 8:30, and The Floor at 10 o'clock, which in the studio is a different story, but that's another story for another day. The United Nations Cultural Agency is honoring Italian food. Well, they've decided that the cuisine is an intangible cultural heritage.
That
you
is
agree?
correct, Lee. Yeah, I would say so. It's not the first time a country's cuisine has been recognized as a cultural expression. In 2010, UNESCO listed French food as part of the world's intangible heritage. UNESCO meets every year to consider adding new cultural practices or expression onto its list of intangible heritages. The committee met in New Delhi this year and considered 53 nominations for the list, which already includes 788 items. Other nominees this year included Swiss yodeling and Chile's family circuses.
Yes, Swiss, well-known Ricola, I think they say, right?
Oh, no.
That's a dad joke.
Oh,
and speaking of that, Sabine, it's time for our Christmas dad joke. And you know what? I'm not going to say one tonight. Instead, here's the mayor of Regina, Chad Bashinsky.
Oh, no.
What do you call a singing elf? What? A rapper. You're welcome.
So proud of himself.
Loves the dad jokes, too.
Oh, no. It's spreading.
It's coming in Regina, everyone. We've got you all. Programming note, there will be no 6 o'clock tomorrow night. The NFL game between Atlanta and Tampa Bay will be on national across the country, but the 5 o'clock news will be on, so join us at 5 o'clock tomorrow night. And, of course, the morning show. Yes, stay warm.
We're done.